I hope we can have some sense a little bit of what Rebbe is explaining over here. I'm just deciding where we should start from, so we have continuity. All right, so we are explained that you may have the real essence, such as in the case of the neshamis, in the way they will know themselves and know Elokus, Nosid Lovi, which means knowing Elokus from inside out, because the neshamis are rooted in Elokus. Nosid Lovi, the neshamis will be in that state and will literally function in that from that perspective, in that state. The way they are in essence. And yet still, they will then vie for the Indian from Nishikim. Nishikim is an expression of the Indian, an expression in what's called Yichud Ava, which is an expression from in the chochmah and binah level. Where does chochmah and binah compare to having the real thing? In the various illustrations that we have been using, that we use lately, we have the following. Normally we illustrate it from the opposite angle, but now we have to see it from a completely different perspective. You say, you stand outside and you look inside the room. And in this observation, you can observe everything that's going on in the room. How does this compare on being inside the room? Being actually inside. Standing outside, he can observe everything, and he can not only observe all the various pieces, but you can actually observe with your wisdom, with your chochmah, what this room stands for. What's the spirit in it? What is it? And then there is the other state when you're inside mamash. And inside mamash, essentially you're also aware of all the things that are around you. But you're also fully and embraced by this reality of this room, what this room stands for. So normally we would say that there is not a comparison between observing and being inside. Being inside, you are actually experiencing the real thing. Observing, you are experiencing the real thing in a ha'ara form. This is these two states. And the spirit of these two levels, of these two states that we are speaking of in the neshama. The way the neshama is an etzem, particularly the way it's going to be in the osid lobby, where it will be actually recognizing and being inside the very source from which it is emanating. And then the Indian from Nishiki. Nishiki comes as an expression, as a ha'ara of that truth. So we would normally say there's no comparison. That's what the question is. There's no comparison. You have the real thing. What do you get by this expression of Nishiki? And yet, what we are being explained, that there is a very special mile, advance, very special quality that is gained by the Nishiki, that you don't have by being as an insider, to the extent that while you're an insider, you're vying and you're hoping, you're longing for the Nishiki. Now let's see inside. This is what the Rebbe is saying, and we'll try to then focus in and understand what's really behind it. And I said we discussed this. I want to just quickly go back to 3 lines from the bottom of the previous page. The Inyan is the is what we explained earlier, the ha-atzmi-im, that what is ha-atzmi-im referred to? Ha-atzmi-im means the shashuim, the oinek, the word shashuim means the plaything. What does a person play with? That which gives him an experience of his own sense of his own truth. Shashuim ha-atzmi-im hu k'may al derech moshel. It is similar like al derech moshel. For example, shemisanek be'etzem nafshe beho'inyan. This is where misanek, he delights not because something is being given to him and added, but etzem nafshe, in the very essence of his soul, and the life experience itself, beho'inyan, and yet he's misanek in this particular. He is an insider. There is not an element of halbosha. Halbosha means encompassing it, having a sense of what it is I'm misanic from. The Ayin is totally true from the essence of the soul, and does not even permit standing outside and looking at it. What is it? What does it consist in? I'm completely embraced by the Ayin. This is the Ayin from Ashurim Watts, and this is the Ayin from Tammuz. And now, in contrast, the Kmei Shebo B'Bchinas Chochmah, where in the man, in the form or in the sense that this Shashurim come and I recognize B'Bchinas Chochmah, and from the chochmah perspective, Shagam Shezeh Tainug Atzmi Mamos. Although this is a Tainug Atzmi, this chochmah identifies and relates to Tainug Atzmi, the essential Tainug Mamos, which means chochmah does not fool you. You actually recognize what the neshama recognizes. This is chochmah. This is why, when we speak about these sensitive things, the first thing, the question is, do you sense it? Do you sense the difference between this and that? What's sensing? Sensing is not, I want to put it into some kind of a logical explanation. The first thing is, do you sense it? Because that is this is the chochmah. This is the life element of the nefesh. And therefore, this is the Tainug Atzmi-im. This is what sensing chochmah. However, mikomokoi, but yet still. Okay, again, going back to the mashal that we said, the illustration that you're looking through the window, or in that matter, you're standing by the door. But the point is, you're not experiencing being inside, you're just observant. But your observation is an intelligent observation. You're not observing for the purpose of criticism, for the purpose of finding fault or gaining something. You're observing to sense what's going on. What is it about? This is the chochmah observation. So therefore, there, when you're observing, a chochmah will go down to the very essence of what is going on. What is the life behind it? What motivates it? What keeps us alive? This is the Ayin, and therefore this is the binah tainug ha-atzmi-im. The komokoim yet still. Arei ze bo Beis tziyud b'meshu misanik. There is some type in chochmah. There is nevertheless that oinet comes, meaning that oinet is contained in some kind of a tziyud, some kind of an expression, some kind of a form, so that he is aware. B'meshu misanik. What is the oinet about? This is the way it is in chochmah. And this is, in fact, the reason that chochmah provides the inspiration that later goes into binah, and ultimately going into midas and machshava dibur ma'aseh. Because along with the oineg, there is also a defining element. So this oineg atzmi mamash in chochmah has a tziyud. In other words, as I pointed out, we spoke about last night, and we spoke about that what chochmah is observing, what we are sensing with our intellect, is the truth itself, not something that we are contriving and making sense. It is the truth itself that's speaking to us. This is the chochmah. And yet still, in chochmah, because this is an observer's position. And why is the observer's position? There is a tziyud. Aval ba tainug ha-atzmi-im, in contrast to the tainug ha-atzmi, the real time, the way it is in the nefesh, hu she'enei bo b'shum tziyur klal. That is where the tainug does not express itself through any kind of a tziyur. There is not a form, and you cannot say, what is it that I'm experiencing? Okay, so this is the contrast between these two things, the tainug ha-atzmi, the way it is in tainug ha-atzmi-im, and tainug ha-atzmi, the way it is recognized and observed by chochmah. So we say like this: Ve'im heyois, that although shezehu amitus pshitus ha-tainug ha-atzmi, that the way it is in etzem ha-nefesh, tainug ha-atzmi mamash, this is the real truth, pshitus ha-tainug ha-atzmi. This is the true tainug ha-atzmi. She'enei murgosh b'shum tziyur klal, which does not sensed, does not identified b'shum any tziyur at all. Again, we started yesterday a little bit, and I want to bring it back in so we should have a sense of what we're talking about. And the reason that always compels me to go back to so to speak, to the basics, is that in our time and in our world, we lose sense, we lose track, we lose connection to the basics. And everything, we immediately think, okay, so what's the cause of it? What motivates it? What we discussed last night, motivation. And that is due to the fact that we lose sense of the truth of everything. Where does everything come from? We think of everything motivating itself. I'm taking it. I'm interested. I'm being aroused to want. What arouses me? All kinds of different, all kinds of different elements. The simple arousal that is identified by the world is you're trying to avoid negativity. That's a simple arousal. I mean, it's the poorest thing that it could be. There's no real quest for anything. Then there is an arousal, oh, the quest is for satisfaction, for the light or whatever. There's something that I'm seeking. I'm projecting. If I have this, I'll have pleasure. The truth is, ha-atzmi-im, where does it come from? This is the godly truth that the Eibishter had bestowed, given into the nefesh. God does not have a source, and God gave the nefesh that type of a truth. So therefore, this Tainug Atzmi is a truth. Is the truth of the time. So we're pointing out that even though that this is really a mitzvah, pshitus ha-Tainug Atzmi. Pshitus means the Tainug Atzmi. Anything that says pshitus, it says bepashtus. Pashtus means simple. What is simple? Simple is that which emanates and represents the fundamental truth itself. It's there because it's true. Not because of any kind of experience, any kind of motivation or projection, anything. Just simplicity itself, the simple truth itself. This is the simple Ayin of godly Ayin. So this is without any tziyur. This is the real truth itself. The chochmah, and yet still, this is the point of the whole discussion. Yesh gamkin yisrain. There is also an element of yisrain, of an advantage, an addition, a superior quality. Tainug ha-atzmi, from in having the Tainug ha-atzmi, sheba b'murgash, which does come b'murgash, does express itself in a sense, behelem ha-chochmah. Behelem ha-chochmah means in the essence of the chochmah, in the source of the chochmah itself. Chochmah, as I said, is the observer's position. Again, we have to kind of project beyond our normal thought of observers. Observer is I'm observing. I'm kind of judging what it is. That's not an observer. Observer means that he's actually gets involved, but he's involved with his wisdom, not by personally being absorbed by it. That's what observer is. He's actually experiencing the truth, but he's experiencing it because he knows what he's experiencing. Whereas when he's embraced by it, he doesn't know what he's experiencing. This is the mile. Yesh yisrim ba'atainug ha-atzmi shebo b'murgash behelem b'chochmah. B'murgash. It is actually b'murgash. Its sense. Behelem ha-chochmah. in the concealed and in the deepest refinement of the chochmah itself. Something that you're not even able to sense what it is that you're not. In order to identify it fully, you have to go down from chochmah into binah and so forth. But nevertheless, behemach, helem chochmah, there is that murgash, and there is a special advantage, a special yisrei, a special supremacy in that oinek, having it in helem chochmah, supreme even to being in the oinek itself. And the who, and where is that supremacy? It is bitfisas or bitfisas Ayin. It is in the element, in the aspect of tfisas Ayin, in the grasp of the Ayin. To know what it is that I'm delighted of has a special quality. Truly to live, taking it in some kind of a emotion, to live is the essential thing. But to know that I'm alive has a certain additional quality to it. And this is the tfisas Ayin, that you are actually in your chochmah. This is the phenomenal thing of chochmah. You seek all the time. Chochmah is a koyach haseichel. Like you said, it's an observer's position. But there is a vast difference between an observer who observes critically, which means he is observing from his distant position and from a not a true position. He's not really observing the truth that's going on. He's observing to the extent that he can relate and say, oh, this is what I saw. That's not real observation. Observation is observe what is the truth of what's going on. Where does it get its motivation? Where does it get its chayus from? That's the observer's position. So even though he's only an observer, but he is an open-minded observer. He observes with full respect, with full involvement on the chochmah level. This is possible only in chochmah. Why is it possible only in chochmah? Because in fact chochmah is a koyach ha-nefesh. Chochmah represents the life element of the nefesh in seichel. It's a phenomenal thing. Like I spoke about yesterday, this is a miracle. Exemplified, it was by sight. Sight is a similar thing. The effect of sight is that you are seeing the truth itself, not how you relate to it, and how you define it. Sight and chochmah, I would say, is interchangeable in terms of different levels, but sight is really dependent on chochmah, and it is a moshech of chochmah. Because the experience of sight, like we discussed last night, the difference between knowing everything that's in the room in the dark state by by feeling your way around and touching everything. So you know every detail in the room. And then when the light comes out, you're relating it from a completely different, on a completely different level. And you are relating to from its truth. What is really here? Not what it consists in. What is really, what it stands for. This is the chochmah. And it has this mila b'tfisas u'ina, because it allows for a grasp, for knowing what you know. This is the intelligence. This is the nefesh, the chayza nefesh, within the chochmah. Derech mashakosu b'mokim acher, similar which as is explained elsewhere, b'inyan idiyas elokus b'muchosh. Speaking about knowing elokus b'muchosh. B'muchosh means in sensing it. Muchosh means you sense it. Elokus cannot be sensed. Elokus does not have a tangible element, whether it's a tangible element b'gashmis or b'ruchnis. And yet, there is an element what's called, and that's what it's called, Yidiyas Elokus b'muchosh. As if you were sensing it. So we explain where this is discussed, Sheyei b'zeh maila, that there is in fact a maila, an advantage in this. There's a supreme quality to it. And Mesher Toifes b'ho'ina holiki. The supreme quality is that he is toifes, he actually grasps the inner holiki. In other words, there is the way we know Elokus, because we are alive, we have the nefesh. Nefesh knows Elokus directly. But then this nefesh is mislabish in the guf. And now, whatever you know through koiches, to specific functioning qualities. Starting from chochmah on down. There's no comparison to the life element of the nefesh and to the koiches hanefesh. Yet, there is a phenomenal gain by knowing something through the koiches. Because he is actually toifes b'ho'in. In one word, we can discuss it at length now. There's a difference between just being shown because it's there, and knowing it with your own conscience. Yes, indeed, you're not rejecting the fact that it's being shown, because that's the truth. But you recognize the truth with your own conscience. Like the Alter Rebbe explains, speak about this all the time, that what maintains a tzaddik throughout his lifetime is not even what he has learned as an adult, as a tzaddik. It raises him to tremendous heights. But what keeps him on an even keel throughout, it is that which he learned as a child. What does that mean? Does he know it now as a child, in a childish form, and he doesn't know what he knows? No. He knows it, he knows it with the same purity and the same truth of the child, but he knows what it is. And this is what's, so to speak, keeping him afloat throughout his lifetime. It's a real from Teufels. Yes, this is the truth, but I know this is. It comes through the koiches hanefesh. Chochmah hu ha-maila b'tainug ha-murgush. The same Inyan is the maila of tainug ha-murgush nitwas b'ho Inyan. Okay, let's. Okay, so we are interrupting now. So we are going to have our Thursday class mission tonight. Okay? All right. Have a great day.